So today is going to be the first installment of the cooking video on my behalf. You've already had the pleasure of viewing Matt, so today we're going to get started with hummus. So this is probably a recipe that I get asked for almost weekly. It's really simple, and why buy it when you can make it at home is my theory, so there's just absolutely no comparison. So let's do a rundown quickly of the ingredients. First off, we've got chickpeas. Now these are canned chickpeas, and I actually have a huge pot over there on the stove cooking right now of dried beans. And if you're a fan of the chickpea like me, you find many uses for it. Soups, in chilies, chana masala. If you love Indian food, you're going to love the chickpea. You can roast them with, flavorings of your choice. I just love doing that because it's a quick snack you can take with you to work, munch on during the day. Top them on salads. There's just 1,000 things you can do with the chickpeas, so don't be afraid of it. Cooking them is no big deal. If you need any help, just ask me some tips and I'll definitely give you some info on that. So, okay, we've got 1 can of chickpeas. We have sour cream, and this is the non-fat version. The actual recipe calls for light sour cream, but my theory is why have extra fat in there if you don't need it. We have sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, lemon, and lime juice, because I kind of like that extra little kick that lime juice adds, and I usually use fresh but don't have fresh, so we're going with the bottle today. A little bit of sugar, fresh cracked pepper, which is the perfect addition to hummus, salt, ground cumin, coriander, tahini, and for anyone who doesn't know what tahini is, it is sesame paste, sesame seed paste, and I generally, I'll switch it out, not every time, but sometimes I'll switch it out, and you can use pretty much any nut butter of your choice. I kind of have a preference for almond butter, but once again, out of almond butter, so just sticking with the standard tahini, and the almond butter just kind of gives it a little bit, a different taste, so you can take your pick there. Garlic, the food group all on its own, and I usually add more than what the recipe calls for just because I absolutely love garlic. Alright, so let's get started. Food processor. Basically everything is going in the food processor, and we're going to give it a quick whiz, and seriously in less than 5 minutes you're going to have your hummus. Okay, so just dumping the chickpeas in. And chickpeas, I can't say enough about them. They are a wonderful source of fiber, so basically you're going to feel full longer when you're eating them. There's almost no fat, so yay, we all love that. It's a good source of protein, so if you're not a fan of meat, or you just kind of want to have something to switch it out, any legume is really great for that. Alright, so we have our chickpeas in there. So we're going to put in some sour cream. Now the recipe calls for 1/4 cup, and I'm not going to measure. I'm not dirtying my measuring cups because I kind of just go by eyeball. So 1/4 cup in. We've got tahini, and it calls for 2 tablespoons, and once again, not measuring. 1 tablespoon. Second one goes in, and I will repost this recipe for anyone who wants it. It's actually in, I think, both notes and recipe section on the page, so, but I'll bring it up for you later. We've got some lemon juice here. So the best way to get the most juice from the lemon is to just give it a nice little roll. Get the juices going, softened up. And it does call for 2 tablespoons, and fresh squeezed, don't want the seeds popping out. It's about 1 right there. Just give a little muscle. Okay, I'm putting more. It needs more, in my opinion. Try not to take an eyeball out here with this lemon juice. Okay, I have a seed in there. That's not good. Out it comes. You nasty little creature. Alright, so got our lemon juice in. We are going to do garlic next. So it calls for 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. I mean, come on. 2 teaspoons just isn't, you know, enough. So, I'm going to give it a nice little whack here. Get all the skins off. Yeah, you need to use some force. Alright, so give it a nice chop, rough chop. It's going to get whizzed up anyway when it goes into the food processor. So, alright, fresh garlic, you cannot beat it, I'm sorry. So that goes in. And our sesame oil, toasted sesame oil, which we have. I actually use President's Choice brand, and I love it. I think it's fabulous. Okay, so it calls for ½ teaspoon. And this stuff is really potent, so if you've never used it before, you can't just go dump it in like any other oil because it will completely overpower the recipe that you're putting it in. So just a little tiny bit, because what you want to do is you want to enhance the flavor, not overpower. So about ½ teaspoon. And that's about it. Very quick. We have salt. And I'm just going to do a couple good pinches. And what I'm using is Himalayan pink mountain salt. So salt will bring out the flavor. Sugar, once again, not measuring, but it is a ½ teaspoon. So about that. Fresh cracked pepper. You can never have enough of this stuff. Seriously. I mean, you can use regular pepper, but there's just nothing like the flavor and aroma of fresh cracked pepper. So we also have our ground cumin, coriander going in, and that's it. So, I'm going to put the top on, food processor, give it a whiz, and it'll take a few minutes for the chickpeas to completely, you know, get smooth. And you can have it whatever texture you prefer. I kind of like mine a little bit more on the smooth side, so obviously I'm going to let the food processor run longer. But if you like your hummus a little chunkier, you can just, you know, just test it. Stop it, let it go, test to see how it works for you. So you've got a spatula. You want to scrape down the side. So it's working now. It's starting to move around a little bit in the food processor. And I know you probably can't see it right from there, but you'll get the general idea. Okay, so we're going to scrape down the sides. It's coming along nicely. Smells great. You can smell that tahini and that sesame seed oil in there. Almost perfect. Give it another little whiz around here. Alright, it is done. So, got my bowl. I'm going to scrape the blade off. Now, if you're a fan of hummus, there are lots of things you can do with it. It's just not a dip. I absolutely love it on a veggie burger. That's totally my most favorite way of having it. put it on a veggie burger, or like put it in a wrap with some fresh spinach, hummus. Oh, so good, so good. If I'm eating it as a dip, you can have it with, I mean, your veggie of choice. My veggie of choice is the carrot. So check that out. Perfect. It's cheap. I mean, if you are getting a batch of this at the store, you'll know you're going to pay like, I don't know, anywhere from $3 to $5 for a little tiny pathetic tub of hummus. And it doesn't taste anything like this. Why would you do it? So there we have it. The perfect bowl of hummus. Now that's made probably, I would say at least more than 2 cups. And it is creamy, it's smooth, it's packed full of flavor. Yum. Okay, so let's give it a try. So what I have, because I am out of carrots, I don't know why, out of carrots, I'm using cashew honey sesame crackers. They're really good. So let's give this a test here. You can test this out as you're making it, you know, to find the flavor combo that works best for you, but I've made this a gazillion times, so I pretty much have it down pat. I make it almost every Sunday, so I know exactly what amounts I'm putting in my recipe to make it perfect for me. So let's give it a try. So good. So good. That fresh garlic just popping out of there. And like I said, that sesame seed oil, you can really taste it. I mean, the toasted stuff just gives it a wonderful flavor. So if you want to try some hummus, get your food processor and grab a few ingredients, and seriously, less than 5 minutes, you've got a fabulous dip and snack. Thanks. Have a great day. See you next time.